Hey, what is up, guys? It is Card Shuffler 99 here. Today, I'm going to be revealing for you guys X's final performance on Britain's Got Talent. If you haven't seen it already, we will link that below down in the description. Now, keep in mind, we are sort of going to give a few spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen it yet, I would already click off of this video, go watch that, and come right back here because I will start to explain a couple of the things that went on. Obviously, my breakdown. But it was a pretty cool trick, so if you guys enjoyed this video, we're going to break it down for you guys. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment something in the comment section below, and make sure you guys have your post notifications turned on. We're going to be giving away $100 of Amazon gift cards. There's only a couple days left to enter, so make sure you guys get your entries in right away. I believe there's like a week left to enter, and then we're going to start announcing winners. Once again, $100 of Amazon gift cards and 5 through 11 decks of cards. Just enter that. You guys will have a chance. And anyway, let's get straight into this reveal. So let's go ahead and break it down. I think the biggest, obviously, revelation in that performance was the fact that X, once he unveiled who he actually is the idea that X is actually Marc Spelmann, who was a competitor on Britain's Got Talent last season. We actually did do reveals for him as well. He had a really great story with his daughter, and it was obviously really touching. And if you haven't seen, actually, I think Britain's Got Talent, they actually posted another video where Marc Spelmann, or X, he explains why he came back on the show and decided to mask himself, and it was because he didn't want everything that went on to influence what happened this year, right? He wants that to be sort of different. He didn't want that experience. He wanted something different. So I thought that was really cool, the fact that he brought it out at the very last minute and revealed himself as Marc Spelmann. But once again, we are here to reveal the magic, so let's go ahead and talk about what he did. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to have a clear sort of jar. And this jar is basically going to have a bunch of slips of paper that are folded up that supposedly contain memories that he has while he's on Britain's Got Talent. So he's going to basically have this big jar, and he's going to have the two hosts, Ant and Deck, basically reach in and grab a couple and read them to themselves and make sure that they're all different, right? From there, he's going to go back to one of the hosts with the same exact jar. He's going to say, go ahead, pick one more. They're going to pick one more, and that's going to be the final selection, okay? From there, he's going to have this sort of graphic on the big screen in the back. Basically, it's just going to have a bunch of circles, a bunch of squares with different words in it. They're going to be all jumbled around, and what happens is he's going to have you start with the circle. He's going to tell you to go from here to here to here. Basically gives you a bunch of different ones, and obviously, supposedly, everyone should end up at a different spot, considering everyone starts at a different spot, most likely, right? But at the end, everyone's going to end up at that same exact one, and that word is going to match the word on the slip of paper that the host selected out of the jar. And then obviously from there, they did a whole montage video with the word hope. Obviously, that was the word, and they went from there, and basically they showed in the semifinal video that hope was the word that they selected. In his audition, hope was somewhere there, and then that was the big revelation at the end where they brought it back to last season, where the word hope was in Marc Spelmann's prediction video from last season, and it sort of came all full circle, and then they revealed that it was actually Marc Spelmann. That was X. So that is the breakdown of the trick. Once again, if you want to see it fully, make sure you go check it out for yourself. It was a really, really cool performance. But let's go ahead and explain how it's done. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the jar. So I have here a little demo of a sample jar, and this is basically what it is. So what we have here is a clear jar, and what I have is this little separation divider right here, and I'm gonna have a bunch of cards on both sides. So really quick, let me explain how this works. So what do I have here? Basically, I have this little slip of paper. You can see here it's taped at the bottom, just taped down here, and basically it goes both sides. Basically, this is a divider, and it's going to divide this little box or this little jar in half, okay? So I have a few playing cards here. Now, just picture this. Obviously, I don't have anything written on these cards. These are just normal playing cards. But what you're going to keep in mind is that what he's going to do to set this up, now this divider here for the actual performance, the reason I'm just using a white piece of paper is for, obviously visual, and so you guys can actually see what's going on so you can learn the trick. But in actuality, this would be clear, okay? And obviously, all of his slips of paper were folded up, so it takes up more volume. And that way, it looks like this entire thing is filled up. But his actual divider would be clear. It wouldn't obviously go all the way. It wouldn't pass the top. As you can see here, this sort of goes beyond the top of the jar. This would just stay inside. And this is the sort of little divider that he's going to have. And again, it is clear. And you're not going to be able to tell, obviously, because the entire thing is clear, and then it's going to be pretty much filled up. I don't have mine filled up here, but it's going to be somewhat filled up. So what is he going to do? He's going to have two sides of this. On one side, he's going to have a bunch of slips of paper, and all these slips are going to be folded up, and they're all going to read the same exact word. So meaning every single one that goes on this side is going to say hope on it. So every single one on this side reads hope, and then every single card that he puts on the alternate side is going to be a different word. Okay, so basically it's going to say one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing. And these are all different memories that he's going to have, okay? Now keep in mind, he's going to start the trick. So I'll just keep it just like so. He's going to start the trick off, and he's going to basically have them select something. Now, what do we notice here is he's going to basically, every time he has his thumb inside of the jar. Now that's important because normally people could just go, oh, here, take the jar and go like this. He has his thumb inside. So what is he doing? So let's say this side has all the words that are the same. What is he going to do? He's going to take the divider and he's going to hold it just like so. Basically, it's just on an angle, just like this. And what does that do? It basically just makes it so obviously this entire side here would be filled up, okay? Obviously, all my cards are at the bottom here, but this entire side would be filled up with cards. And as he holds it like this, because this is clear, they can't see it. They can just see through it, so it looks like there's still more cards on the other side, obviously. But as he holds his thumb here, just like so, as they reach in, they have no choice but to grab one of the cards on this side, okay? They can't actually grab something over here because this divider is blocking it. It's a clear divider, and he's holding it over. Now, when he wants to go and then force the word hope, all he would do then is he would switch the side that he holds the divider. Now he's holding on this side, so no matter where they go inside, the only cards that they can actually grab are the same because it's on this side of the divider. Now again, you might not be able to tell right here, but this in the actual performance, like I said, this would be clear, so you'd be able to see through it, and you'd be able to see that there's cards on both sides. So it would normally look like just a clear empty, not empty, but just a clear jar filled to the brim with a bunch of slips of paper. But once you have this clear divider, you hold it to one end, they can grab it, anything from this side. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to take anything off of this side, but it still looks like there's something on this side, obviously, because it's clear. They can go ahead, they can grab something from there, grabs a card, they grab a few from here, they read them out loud. Obviously, they're going to all be different. Those are obviously all the same for some reason. I have 3 5 of hearts on this side. So let's just go ahead and say that these were all the same. And he goes ahead and he just grabs, so it's hope, right? 5 of hearts is hope. The other side, all of these cards are different. These all read a bunch of different memories. They go ahead, they grab one, not 5 of hearts again. But let's go ahead, this time it's the 8 of hearts. So that would be that. I don't know why I have so many 5 of hearts. I think that this is one of these Svengali decks. But just keep in mind that on one side, he would have a bunch of cards that read hope. The other side, he would have a bunch of cards that just have a bunch of different memories on it. So that's that part. So that's basically the first part. And again, he has to force the word hope. Now, that is the entire first part of the trick with the jar. Again, just a clear divider that runs down the middle. He just holds it over to one end using his thumb. You'll notice his thumb is inside, and that's how he holds the jar. Now, obviously, the second part of the trick was with the squares and circles on the large board. He basically has everyone go ahead, start with the circle, and he says, okay, you're going to move left to the nearest square. You know, he's going to have basically everyone move. Now, this is one of those puzzles where no matter where you start, whichever circle you start, the directions that he gives is going to bring you to the same exact spot every time. So there's no magic here necessarily. But what it is essentially is the fact that no matter where you start, as long as you follow the directions that he gives perfectly, and you don't mess up, you're going to end up in the same spot every single time. And that's going to be the word hope. So that's how he forces it. So there's no magic there. If anything, you could literally go back and you could just try this yourself. And you could say, okay, let's start here, let's start here, let's start here. And every time you're going to end up with hope. So what is he doing? He's just forcing the word hope. He forces the word hope with the jar, obviously, which was pretty cool. And that was pretty much the entire trick right there. But again, I guess the biggest part of it was the revelation that it's Marc Spelmann. Obviously, he's a great magician. He's done a lot of great things for Magic. If you guys, once again, haven't seen the performance, make sure you go check it out for yourself. I thought it was a really cool one. I think the last thing I actually expected was for the Magician X to be Marc Spelmann, so I thought that was pretty cool in and of itself. But anyway, guys, once again, Make sure you guys enter the giveaway. Just 1 week left to enter. $100 of Amazon gift cards and 5 through 11 decks of cards up for grabs here. Anyway, guys, that is really it for us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just like it, subscribe, comment, turn on your post notifications to be entered in this card shuffler 99. Peace out, guys.